Hey, this is Isaac from Epica.
Hey, what's up? This is Koen from Epica.
Hey guys, this is Arjen, the drummer from Epica.
Hey, this is Rob from Epica.
Hi guys, this is Mark from Epica and you're geeking out to Gear Gods.
Hey, this is Isaac from Epica. I'm gonna run you through the stuff I use on tour, on the US tour that is. It's different from what I use in Europe, but this time I have the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier head and a Mesa Boogie cabinet. We brought the Sennheiser wireless stuff, and that's what we always use. And usually in Europe, or not usually, all the time in Europe, I use Bogner amps, Überschall. For the recording, I use the Shiva 25th anniversary, which is a little more compressed than the Überschall, but for live, it's a wild beast, so that's what I like best. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in our music already, so that's why it's a very, very basic setup. I only use clean and distortion, that's it. All the stuff, like if I'm doing solos or whatnot, it's front of house who's adding delay and all that. We use in-ears with the Sennheiser, so I don't want like a volume boost or anything like that. I just want it to sound as dry as possible in my in-ears, so I know I'm playing well. And all the fancy stuff is added through the PA and not on the in-ears, and that keeps me sharp, I guess. So also on the pedals, I use a very basic setup. I can switch between channel 1, which is clean, channel 3, which is distortion. Then I have a noise suppressor. I always put it on except for soloing. That's the only time when I switch it off, just to have the long notes and a little feedback if needed. And a tuner, and that's about it. So this is my main guitar. It's a Gibson Les Paul Tobacco Burst. Really awesome, I just got it. It's a 7-string, so pretty rare. I also have the Heritage, just the flamed one. I can show you later. And yeah, some stuff I modified is this little saddle piece right there. I had to switch it the other way just to get it intonated right. And I put this one all the way down to the body, so the strings go the other way around. It makes the whole guitar a lot more tighter. And yeah, I've had it for only 1 month and I like the scratches on the back already. So haven't played a lot of shows yet, but it's already kind of worn out, which I like. Yeah, it's hard for all the shredding because it's a thick neck, but I just love the sound and the looks, of course. This is basically the holy grail for me. And once I found out they were doing 7 strings, that's when I got hooked up with Gibson. So also this is really solid, not much about it. It's the same guitar as you would buy in the shop. It has 010 and to 064. That's a lot heavier than what I used before, but it's just really solid and it gives a very cool sound and very deep and in your face. So here's the other one, Heritage. It's yeah, a lot more shiny and all that. So this is my backup guitar. Same modifications on the bridge and on this little saddle here, and same strings. And as you can see, because I haven't used this one a lot, it's still perfectly clean, which I don't like.
Hey, what's up? I'm Koen, keyboard player for Epica. And I heard you want to know something about my stuff, which I brought on this tour. And I'm happy to show you. So let's go. Start with the keyboard. I got hooked up with Roland since this year, and they provided me with their newest workstation, the FA08, which has a great feel. You know, I'm originally a piano player, so I like to have the weighted keys, which this one has. And I come from the Phantom G8, and this is kind of similar, but they don't make the G8 anymore. So they give me the FA08, which works fine. Mainly because I actually only use it as a MIDI controller because my sound source is over there. It's an Integra module, but I'll show you later. This one is set up to be completely wireless since I like to move around, and we built an awesome rail for it so I can actually walk everywhere I want. Now this stage is not the biggest stage we play, but normally I can go all the way behind the drum kit. I'll show you how. We made a rail and I can move the keyboard around. Normally the rail goes all the way around, of course, and in Europe we even have a bigger setup. This was built because I wanted to move as much as I can on the stage to have the best performance possible. And I always already had the rotating stand built by this guy in Holland, and then we had a Belgian company build a rail system for it, so it's basically put on wheels now with the necessary brake so I don't fall off. Yeah, so we had to go completely wireless. That's why I use a sound source from over there and only a MIDI controller. So we have the MIDI beam from Panda MIDI, which is a wireless MIDI receiver and transmitter. We have one over here and one in the Revo from New Motion. They go into a MIDI merger from MIDI Solutions, and they go into the sound source, the Integra module from Roland. Yeah, that's basically it. I control the sounds here by pressing the pads, and those are all programmed into the Integra. I have two sustain pedals, which are placed strategically so that if I move any way, I can at least have access to one. Of course, the cup holder for beer, but now I usually do water because you can drink and drive, of course, so it's very interesting. Luckily for me, I have two great techs who came up with a power source to have this wirelessly powered, or wirelessly, of course, there's just a battery. It's a normal, I think it's an extra laptop battery, but our guitar tech, who's also an electric technician, built a little machine that it can power the keyboard for up to 6 hours or 7 hours. So our shows usually last for 1.5, so that's easy. And then we have two of those, so we charge it in the bus every night, so that there's no problem. That's about it, what we got here. And then we have the Revo from New Motion, Canadian company. It's also a MIDI controller, which is built ergonomically. I don't know if I can hit the microphone now. So it has the round shape, which is actually for your joints an easier way to play than straight. And instead of having the usual keytar to move around, you can now use two hands because of the way it is placed around your body. What's there to tell? I use this also as the MIDI controller, so when I play on this, also the sounds go via the Panda MIDI wireless system into the MIDI merger, into the Integra, and I can walk over there and usually take a stroll into the crowd because this goes up to 200 meters, so I'm told. I never had to be that far away from the stage, but anyway, it's a great keyboard. It looks funny, you know, people ask me a lot about it because it's something else, and I'm, as a keyboard player, looking to do something else. Well, the most important part of my setup are my techs. They're here, Igor and Arjen. Yay. And he built all the wireless stuff so that, because it was, you know, it had to be invented. There was nothing for wireless keyboards. And luckily he's the kind of genius who makes it all happen. But then we have the Integra module. It's the Integra 7, the newest sound module from Roland. And what I did is I had some studio sets created. I'm still programming them, but you know, for every album I have a basic setup. So which I can control from all the way over there. And that's it. It just goes out to the sound engineer and we have sound. Very awesome. Oh yeah, and we forgot the backing tracks, of course. We have backing tracks rolling along through 1 or 2, depends on which one works, but they work normally. It's U-Track 24 by the company called Cymatic Audio, and basically it plays every song we want in a yeah, it's just a regular backing track player. We switched from using computers and interfaces to this because you only have one machine, no more cables in between, and that makes it far more reliable, I guess. Igor controls it during the show. He just has to press the play button instead of, you know, pointing a mouse at something and clicking. And it has 24 outputs. We only use 8 now, but you can always expand the stuff, and it's a very good machine. It's really easy. You put the set list on a USB stick, put it in, and it's ready to go.
Hey guys, my name is Arjen. I'm the drummer from Epica. And here we are with my kit that I'm using on the holographic principal tour. Well, let's start with the shells. The kit, it's a Pearl reference. I've been playing that for 4.5 years, and this is a nice deal with Pearl that I can use kits like an international endorsement. 22-inch kicks. Let's see, a 14-inch, I think it's 6.5-inch deep, 10-inch tom, 12-inch tom, 16-inch tom. And yeah, they sound really, really lovely. And Remo drum heads on them. And Pearl, yeah, I think they are eliminators / demon drives. It's sort of a mix model. So they still have the chain pedal, but then the smoothness of the demon drives. And well, the cymbals, I'm sure that you geeks in the US don't or never heard much about these, but these are Amedia cymbals from Turkey. And I've been playing on those cymbals for 10, almost 11 years. And they're really solid, you know, they have a nice, sharp, crispy, and though a very warm sound. A Vigo rock crash, and these are raw rock highs, really loud, and sometimes the sound man is like, oh man, close them down, they're making too much noise, but and then I say no. Classic crash, and this is a Thrace splash. Let's see, this one is 18-inch, 12-inch, 17 or 16-inch Ufert crash, 18-inch Vigor China, and a very often used Vigor Rock Ride, 20-inch. And I'm using Balbex sticks, signatures. I've been playing on these for over 10 years as well. And they're pretty popular around Europe. I don't know if they're also popular in the States as well, but they work for me just fine.
What size?
Oh yeah, these are, yeah, I would compare them with 5B. Yeah, just so they're sort of medium heavy. Very comfortable. And well, for the bass drums, I'm using Roland kick triggers. They are very functional, very sensitive, and they do the job just fine. Very reliable kick triggers. So per kick, so I don't use a double pedal, so I need 2 triggers, and they're connected to a Roland TM2 trigger model. And it's really cool. You can store in your own samples if you want on with an SD drive. And all this is connected to a little mixing desk. And I only use, or I get a click track, I get a hard disk track, and then my kick drum, the triggers, and I can modify and make the sounds myself and you know, set the levels. And I don't think I have forgotten anything, but this is what I'm working with, and I'm a very happy geek with that.
Hey, this is Rob from Epica, bass player. Welcome here. We're in LA in the Regent Theater. We just did our sound check, and we're going to do a small rig run through. It's not that big, you'll probably be surprised, but let's start with my pedal board. As you can see, this is it. You people must be a little bit shocked, but that's it. This is where my bass signal goes through. This is a clean DI. It's a Radial J48. It's active because my basses are actually passive, so it needs a little boost. From there, it goes to the Darkglass Microtubes B7K. This is an amazing pedal. This is basically my drive signal, so I have two channels, one clean signal and one is actually for the drive. It gets a really growly bass sound. And as you can see, I use a fuel tank for the power supply. And of course, I have a tuner right here. It's a Boss TU3. And this is Dutch for off. Sometimes I tend to forget it on stage when I'm a little bit too enthusiastic, so that's about it. And over here, this is custom made by my guitar tech. This is where my signal goes in, and there's a power cone cable over here, so it makes it much easier. And those are, as you can see here, channel 13, that's a clean one. Channel 14, that's my drive signal. That's basically it. Right now on tour, I have 3 basses with me. Basically, I just need one because all the time we're tuned in B standard. This is a 5-string Dingwall. It's called the Super PJ. As you can see, it has a lot of dings and bumps in it. Yeah, it's pretty road worn. This is basically, if you look at the setup, it's basically a 5-string precision bass with an extra bridge pickup on it. The fingerboard is maple. It has a really, I don't know, there's a pretty nasty sound to it. I really love this bass. I also used it in the studio quite some times. What's more special about it? It's actually passive. I play passive for years now. Reason? Well, each and every time I go to the studio, the engineer always asks me to put everything on flat anyway. And I had some bad experience on the road with active basses that the preamp, the inboard preamp actually got damaged because of all the traveling and etc. And I'm sure my guitar tech would get a little bit nervous if he has to get a print plate out and fix that. So yeah, I just thought, why not use all the pedals on my board? I mean, there's a preamp in the Radial, there's a preamp in my Darkglass pedal. So that's about it. What's the special feature also? Yeah, it has a key extender over here because a few songs I use a drop A tuning, and as you can see, now it's in drop A, and now it's perfectly in tune in B again. That's awesome. And of course, like most people, if you already know Dingwall, it's a fan fret bass. It goes from, I believe, 35.5 inch long scale to about 30 inch, I guess. So the higher strings have a bit of a warmer tone, and the low B sounds really tight. I really love that sound, so yeah, pretty simple setup, love it. Okay, this is my other 5-string foreign tour. This is also a custom bass. It's from the Super J model. It's basically a 5-string fan fret jazz bass, you could say. It has quite similar features compared to the other one, also with the key extender over here. It's also passive. This time it has actually 3 pickups. That was a little bit of an experiment that Sheldon Dingwall and I wanted to try, because they have a lot of basses over there at Dingwall that have 3 pickups, and I wanted to try it out. The only thing I hammered on was to not make it active. Same story as the other bass. So it's very simple. It has a tone, it has a rotary switch for the pickups, volume knob. And my guitar tech also did some adjustments to the pickup wiring, because I wanted this bass sounded pretty mellow in my opinion. I wanted to make it sound a little bit more, I needed a little bit more growl. So what we did is we wired these two pickups together. So these together sound a little bit more like a humbucker, kind of like the Music Man kind of sound, like a Stingray. And in series we actually added this pickup, which has a little bit more of the precision bass kind of sound. So it's a combination of, yeah, like I said, a Stingray and a growly precision bass, which I really like. And I used the exact same setup for the recording of our latest album, The Holographic Principle. And I guess like we recorded about 20 tracks or something, and most of the tracks are recorded with this bass, and I really dig the sound. Last but not least, this is my my newest bass, to be honest. I picked it up last week in Canada, at Saskatoon, where the Dingwall headquarters is. Sheldon Dingwall built me this bass because we had this crazy idea of maybe designing a bass that is actually special for low tunings, because I think it's probably the most, it sounds pretty familiar to a lot of bass players out there who are kind of forced to use a 5-string bass if they want to use low tunings like, for instance, B standard or drop A, like I did on the other basses. And to be honest, there are a lot of times that I don't even use the G string, so why bother? So I spoke to Sheldon Dingwall about it. He said, like, can't we make it like a 4-string in the same scale as a 5-string? So we have an extra long B string instead of the E string. I said, yeah, maybe that's a cool idea. And he had the ambition to actually, so as you can see, to build a 4-string passive Thunderbird model. So we put those two ideas together, and this is what we came up with. This is the latest model. It's called the D-Bird. It's a 4-string bass. It's tuned in B. It's also passive, and as you can see, just like my jazz bass, this also has 3 pickups on it, and it is exactly the same wiring as my other bass has. So that means if you put it like this, the rotary switch, you have this pickup, single, second switch, you have these two together, you have this a little bit more of a, like I said, a Music Man kind of sound. The middle, you have the middle pickup. To me, it sounds like a kind of a modern Rickenbacker kind of bass. Really like that one. Already did some recordings with it. It's awesome. And last but not least, that's more like my, I guess, signature sound. That's like I said before. It's these two in parallel, and there is this pickup with it. So you have this, again, the humbucker sound combined with a bit of a more growly precision bass kind of sound. And I know that a lot of people are kind of skeptic about this model because a lot of Thunderbirds are really known by being out of, to have neck drop, for instance. But as you can see on the back, we did some adjustments because you can add your strap, you can connect it right over here and over here, and you'd be surprised because if you hang it around your neck, it's totally in balance. And love it. It's also very lightweight, and so far so good, man. I'm really happy with it, and for now this is my main bass for on tour. So if you ever get to check one out, do it.
Hi guys, this is Mark Jansen from Epica. I'm the guitarist and vocalist. Not the main vocalist, but the grunts. This is my main guitar that I use on stage. This one I bring on tour with me all the time because I like the color, basically. It's my second favorite guitar regarding the sound. My bass guitar is also custom made. It's a green one, and that one is at home. I just bring that one not so often on tour with me because I'm afraid it breaks. But this one is my second favorite, and I basically always play on this one. And almost never happens to me that I break a string, so I almost never need my second guitar. As you can see, there's only a volume knob on it because all the rest I don't need. Just this, when I play clean, I put it here, distortion here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a very easy setup. The bridge is even fixed because I don't use handles for it, so it's pretty easy. Yeah, I have DiMaggio Blaze pickups. I use Ernie Ball strings. They are quite thin. 009 till 046 and then an extra 056. So it's a normal set with an extra 056. And yeah, I'm always using it already my whole life. Some people ask why I don't use thicker strings, but I like the way playing like this, and gives me a good sound, so I'm happy with it. So here we have my second guitar, and as you can see, it had a damage in the past. I was really mad when I figured out there was a big scratch inside the wood. So what must have happened is somebody dropped it or stepped on it, but nobody ever came to me, hey, I dropped your guitar. So I never knew what exactly happened, but did send it back to Ibanez and they repaired it for me, and ever since it's playing like it was before. And I almost never use it on stage because I hardly ever break a string, so I never need it, but it's still being used a lot because I take it often with me backstage to rehearse songs that we're going to play during the evening, or that we didn't play for a long time, or to warm up. So still I play this guitar a lot, and it never lets me down. No, that's the standard pickups. I even don't know which pickups they are, but it's all standard. This is a guitar that I bought in the shop, and the other one that you saw, that's custom made. So that one is specially made for me. But this one is a standard Ibanez S series.
Hey, my name is Antti. I'm working for Nightwish. Been doing this since 2005. And here's our guitar systems and guitars. This is the main one, custom made ESP. He had used this from 2004